Hello and welcome back to GP Nail Art. Jessica here. So on this hand I have my Pride Mani. I will put that up in the cards for you if you want to check out that Mani from the month of June. Today I'm going to be using this Solace from Rossi Nails. This is a dip powder that I've had for quite a while, one of the first companies that I started out with, and it is actually a temp changer. Now this particular Mani was actually for my birthday, which was also in June, and I did want to have this posted back in June. My birthday was on the 27th. However, life kind of got in the way a little bit, and just things happened, and I just didn't get it posted, but I still wanted to show you, the Mani, because I will be adding some decals at the end, and, just how I applied those and everything like that. So you can see here that right around my cuticle line, the powder is much lighter. That's the temperature change taking place, which I think is really cool. So it'll be kind of that darker coral pink color for the cold temperature, and then the lighter kind of peachy color for the hot colors, I guess. I also kind of think that this color would be really good for like a sunset kind of Mani. If you wanted to do some sort of sunset nail art, that would be really pretty too. So I'm going to go ahead and finish the dip powder application. I'm going to do 3 layers of the dip powder before I move on to the next step. Alright, so I have finished my dip powder application, and before I do any filing or anything else to the nails, I haven't even applied activator. I'm going to go ahead and apply the water decals. So the reason that I'm going to do it now before I do anything else is because I want to apply the clear dip powder over these. And when I saw these little ones, I thought those two looked like the letter J, kind of. So I thought for my birthday, why not, right? Kind of the first letter of my name. I'm going to cut out a couple of other ones as well. So with the water decals, you do need to cut them out, and you're going to kind of drop them into water so that the decal itself separates from that paper backing. And you want to cut those as close as possible to the actual decal, because it's kind of like printed on a film. So if you have a lot of that film kind of around the outside of the decal, that's just kind of more that you're going to have to move, or sometimes it can kind of wrinkle up on your nail a little bit and just kind of look a little bit bumpy. So the closer you can get, the smoother the application will be. So I'm going to cut out the rest of the ones that I want to use, and I'll grab some water, and then we'll get to the application. Okay, so since the dip powder is kind of smooth and it's not sticky at all, I am going to use my sticky base coat from Maniology for the water decals to have something to stick to. So this, because you're applying it on dip powder, you do kind of want to be mindful of, the fact that the base coat will kind of absorb into the dip powder at some point, so it kind of loses a little bit of the stickiness the longer it's on your nail. So just be careful of that if you're using something like this. You could also use gel base coat, and that's not going to lose that sticky layer after you cure it, and your water decals would stick to that as well. I'm not really using gels very much anymore, so I'm trying to use the products that I know I'm not going to have a reaction to. So I'm applying that just to the 3 nails that I'm going to apply the decals to, and we'll move on from there. Alright, so I'm just going to drop in the first decal that I'm going to use. I don't want them to sit in the water for too long before I'm able to apply them, but they really only take about maybe 10 to 15 seconds for the water to kind of react and let the decal kind of slide off of that paper backing. But once it's kind of kind of sitting in the water for a little bit, I'm just going to kind of grab that out and place it with the decal facing down on the top of my stamper, as you see there. So at this point, I'm just, I was going to try to remove the paper backing with my tweezers, but you want to be careful that you don't kind of gouge or make any imperfections in your stamper either, because that could ruin stamps in the future if you're trying to do that. So it's very easy to just remove with your nail. The paper backing will come off, but you can see the decal stays in place. And then I just blotted off any extra water with a clean paper towel, and we're good to go. So the nice thing about the stamper is you can place that decal exactly where you want. If you try to place it with tweezers, you can kind of, end up, once it kind of touches your nail, that's kind of where it's going to go, and you're not really going to be able to move it around too much. So the stamper kind of gives you the ability to place it exactly where you want it. So I'm going to go ahead and finish up with the other 2 decals. I'm going to put one on my pinky and one on my thumb, and then I will cap these all in clear powder. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and cap all of these nails in clear dip powder, so that will help make sure that those decals stay in place as well. I'm using my Triple D clear dip powder that I got recently. It was on my table, so, you know, just decided to use that one. Although I will say I haven't had any problems at all with the clear. I think it comes out really nice and clear. So I am liking that powder as well. So I'm going to go ahead and finish capping all of these nails, and then we will go ahead and activate everything. Alright, so after using the fluffy brush, I do like to go in with the stiffer scrubby brush, and that's just to really make sure you get all of that clear powder residue off of the surface of your nail. If you find that your clear powder is making your mani look like it's got little white specks or a little bit cloudy, I would suggest the scrubby brush to really get rid of all of that residue, and that's something that could really, you know, help as far as your final look is concerned. But so far, I think these are looking really cute. I'm going to go ahead and use the activator, so that's what's going to harden all of the dip powder on your whole entire nail before I go in to do any filing or anything. And you can see that the activator kind of makes the whole surface of the nail cold and is turning the powder into that darker color. And I love seeing that reaction. Alright, so after filing, I like to clean off any filing dust or anything on my nails with a little bit of alcohol on my cotton round. And that's again just going to make sure that there's not anything before you apply another layer of activator or your top coat that's going to kind of mess up how your mani looks. You don't want any specks of the filing dust or anything like that left over. And then one more layer of activator across the whole entire nail, and that's what's going to help your top coat look nice and shiny, so don't skip that step. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and finish up with the top coat. I did grab a clean piece of paper towel just so I can wipe off the top coat brush before I put it back into the bottle after I apply to each nail. So that's just going to make sure that your top coat doesn't get contaminated from any leftover activator. And you saw that I also wiped off all of my nails again. So for the top coat, I'm just going to start in on the first layer with 2 to 3 swipes across each nail from cuticle to free edge. and that's basically how you want to apply your first layer. You don't want to keep dragging the brush over and over again across your nail. That could make the top coat look dull or cloudy, so just be careful of that. You can do a more thorough application on the second layer. Alright, so I'm just about finished up with the top coat. I do let that dry for a minimum of 2 minutes, just depending on the brand of liquids that I'm using at the time. It's also summer here and we have the windows open pretty much all of the time, so if it gets a little bit humid, I'm finding that it takes sometimes a little bit longer for them to dry, so I just kind of, try to leave them for about 2 to 5 minutes, depending on the weather and everything like that. So I'm going to go ahead and finish up with my Candi Skin Care cuticle oil. I really, really love the temp changers. I mean, it's kind of like the easiest way to get an ombre mani as well. Instead of doing, like a tap or a scrub ombre on your nails, it's just, super easy to kind of get a different look and that ombre kind of look. So let me know what you think. Please don't forget to like and subscribe if you are not already. To my current subscribers, thank you so much for your support. I truly appreciate you. And until next time, bye for now.